Da, 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 da. Greetings, fellow test subjects. Test subject 1337 here for Aperture Gaming. They make it. We test it. You play it. And per my last review, I'm now, like I said, incorporating Aperture's newest device, teaming up with Stark Industries. So the intro will be one-handed from now on. But anyway, I am test subject 1337, and welcome to Aperture Gaming Reviews. And now it is time to blow off some steam, as Aperture is proud to present a boss review. This might be the last free-to-play I do for a while, because after this I'll be covering some paid games. Still have no idea if I'll be doing, this as if I'll do the Aperture, like a free-to-play separate show or not. Trying to figure out, the title and seeing how it would work. But anyway, yeah. This title, it caught my attention because of its visuals. Here's what, I could never really figure out, why do people who have modern day computers and video game consoles, why do people flock to buying games that look like they are retro or old school? Well, I think I finally figured out why that is. And here's why. The game that I'm reviewing, I picked this game to review because this game, which came out 8 years ago, No Man's Sky, it just had a recent update, and the update involves fishing in space. So what is this retro game that involves space fishing? Well, let's get to the review, shall we? Series. The name of the game is The Big Catch, Tacklebox. And from what I've seen, it is a prologue before the main game comes out later on. So, yeah, it is a prologue slash prequel. Team. This game was developed and published by the Filet Group. It was also published by Xseed Games and Marvelous USA Incorporated. Plot. In this game, you play as the character Tackle. And just so you know, yes, from what I've seen so far, characters have a fishing names or fishing puns as their names. So you guys play as Tackle. You come across this desert to learn how to be the next reeler, the next front flyer. Basically, you have to learn how to fish in this weird world and catch these fish in these that are on land or very adjacent to small bodies of water. Yeah, you travel around and you go collect fish, and by doing so, you get credits as a reward for all your hard work. But like I said, this is the opening prequel. It's free to play, so who knows how much will change between this and the main game. Gameplay controls. The gameplay controls, it is a third-person platformer. Now, as Tackle, you use your fishing rod. And aside from using it from the traditional method of, to catch fish, you use it for other things. Like you can use it to traverse over gaps, climb up some structures, and you actually can use it for combat, to smack your opponents. Also, there are these little sand critters, where if you hook onto it, you go on you do land water skiing, where basically you're skidding across the sand. So yeah, the controls are you have to figure out where you can navigate, where you can jump up, where you can. And here's what: when you find a fish, you have to disorient it by either catching it or smacking it, and then you have to try to catch it again, and then you throw it into your hat, and you then bring it back to your mentor, who will reward you with gems. And from what I've seen, I think I know what the gem point collection is for. Graphics. As I've stated, this game, the characters remind me of characters from Banjo-Kazooie, including some elements of the environment. But also, some areas of the environment have the look and feel of from other PlayStation 2 games like Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, and Sly Cooper. So yeah, I also said how I couldn't figure out how people liked the old school stuff, even though it's I get it now. Some games are made this year in the modern day and age, but they don't have either time constraints, budget restraints, or skill restraints. They can't make it look like everything that is live and realistic. Sometimes you have to go for cartoony, and sometimes you have to go for stuff that looks like it was a few generations ago. So even though it has the old school look and feel to it, it works. It works in this game's favor.
Audio.
Speaking of the old school being its favorites, it also has the audio. It has like a so it has like some pretty good music for when you're walking around the environment, music for when you're acting with the certain characters or traveling, and for like fishing situations, and the audio effects for the characters jumping around, engaged in combat, and collecting the gems, the little crystals for the game. The game does sound pretty good. Only so far Tackle hasn't talked. The only person that's talked is Tackle's mentor, and it's some vocal stuff, but not like full actual dialogue.
Multiplayer.
No, it is not multiplayer.
DLC.
No, there is no DLC.
Issues.
Okay, so I think as the prologue, the prequel, before we get to the main story, I think this was like, since it's free to play, I think this was like serve as, a testing ground, because there's a couple problems with this game. The world, it does seem empty. Like there are like 2 kinds of enemies in the game that you do fight, from what I've seen, but that's it. There's no other variety aside from the obstacles of the landscape and your physical limitations. The world seems empty, and it does look like there are other locations off in the horizon, like this area is the hub world and there's other worlds out there, but we can't get to them yet. Also, some of the locations in the game, it feels like we can't access them without, leveling up or gaining a new ability or skill. And then there's some other technical aspects, including how, let's see. At one point when I was doing the game, the secondary and nature sounds stopped, like the wind wasn't blowing, couldn't hear the wind blowing, couldn't hear me walking on the sand, couldn't hear my character's noises for jumping around. We just got the music, so there was that. Also, I was trying to do like a slide dash jump maneuver, and the character was actually sticking in the ground, so that was a problem. And one thing that made me have to stop the game was how when I was trying to do the fast travel with the sand crawlers, I would hook onto it, and it would break free and escape, because it was like acting like my character was stuck there. So yeah, there's a few bugs that need to be sorted out for this game. Another thing is the navigation. Like, we get some kind of compass, but it doesn't really work. It doesn't like point either. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be pointing like the way that's supposed to be north in game, or if it's supposed to be pointing to objectives, but the compass just seems to be lacking, for a better word.
Buy, rent, or pass.
As I said, this is a free-to-play title, so you're not spending any money on buying it, but I would say right now it's in the very middle, in between of rent and buy. I'd be interested to see how the main game comes out after they get these issues sorted out. So, seeing as how it is the prologue, prequel, and it is free to play, I can't judge too harshly on it. And like I said, I do like some of the nostalgia factor, but the fact that I couldn't traverse around with the speedy sandcrawler and got stuck doing a move and the audio going funny on me, yeah. Like I said, very middle ground between rent and buy.
Overall score.
So as I was saying, yeah, the game, it's all right. Like I said, what drew me to it was the whole Banjo-Kazooie factor, and I think it has some interesting potential. The fish catching is fun, and it's interesting to explore around and try to figure out how this world will be after it comes fully out. But yeah, the world seems empty, lack of characters, and the fact that it's giving us everything, but it's like, oh yeah, but you could probably only get this move learn. There's no double jump. There's like no navigational map system. There's no control layout. There's the tutorial area that you could go back to if you need to, but the game, it seems like it's going back and forth, a very teetering sort of thing. But anyway, yeah, so I'll keep my eye on this for when the main game comes out. Last time we had something like this was the previous game I reviewed for, I think it was Yeek, Y-I-I-K. I reviewed that a while ago. That was trippy, and I thought it was a free-to-play. I didn't know what it was, but I was informed that it was basically the prequel to kind of, introduce us to the main game. So same for this title. Anyway, I give the Big Catch Tacklebox an 8.5 out of 10. It's not bad, it's not good, it's very middle ground right there. It needs a little work. Alright, Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Until next time, this has been Test Subject 1337, and I want to thank you for watching, and I'm glad we got a chance to blow off some steam with a B.O.S. review. Until next time, thank you for watching, game on, and have a nice day.